Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. These are the 5 stages of grief that are widely known and were established by Kubler-Ross decades ago. Over the past 5 months, I've realized that the grieving process is so incredibly complex, and I don't think there could be really any formula that you can just whack on it and go, well, this is how it's going to be, because there's so much to it. It's going to be different in each and every individual case based on the circumstances. So today we're going to talk more about the grieving process. I did talk about it a little bit in my first video, but I really wanted to do a deep dive because especially this past week has been quite tough for me. And I noticed that no matter how good I can get sometimes, the next day can just be crashing down. And part of you feels like you've lost progress, or you're not tracking as well as you did the day before, or maybe the week before, or even month before. But I really think that it's important to remember that it's going to go up and down. If you've been doing really well for a week or a month or two, and the next one is just absolutely horrendous, that is completely normal. Like I just said, my past week, it's honestly been quite tough. Because obviously editing these videos and talking about it so much, and the edit of the first video, it was just heartbreaking because obviously I had to watch it over and over and over again, and so I'd be reminded of it again and again and again. And there may be things for you that are exactly like that. It doesn't have to be editing a video. It can be memories that you had together or places where you went together, and you're going to be reminded of it so much more. Let's say there was a place that you haven't been in a while, but then now you passed it and you always used to go there with that person that passed away, and all of a sudden you're completely out of control of your emotions again, and you're just asking yourself, why can't I just continue how well I was going the week before? And I think we really have to remember that within this grieving process, however long it may take, whether it be months, years, or probably even decades sometimes, that when those days come that are so incredibly hard and those memories that come up, it's amazing because those things are so little and it can really be anything, and it will completely backset you from all the amazing progress that you may have made. But this is going to happen time and time again. And the most important thing to remember in those times is that it's okay to feel like that. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to just be in your room, maybe do absolutely nothing, stare at the ceiling, watch a series, binge watch, whatever it is, reels or TikToks or anything that helps you distract yourself without feeling bad for it. I'm not saying that I think it's a good idea to always be doing this. I did talk about this a lot in my first video, that I think we do have to take the time to properly heal and to get better mentally and physically in order to overcome this tragedy. But I do also believe that when those days are there, and I can guarantee you they will be there, be kind to yourself. Don't think that it's a linear process. Like I said before, with the 5 stages of grieving, where we may look at a process or maybe even somebody else's progress, and you're going to ask yourself, well, why am I not healing in that same way? Am I doing something wrong? Is there something that I should be doing differently? And I used to be a master at this, at being too hard on myself on days where I would do absolutely nothing or just wouldn't feel productive. And luckily, over the past years, I learned that it's always okay to have those days. And now I know that especially within this process and after you lost somebody that you love, it's going to be like a roller coaster. Like right now, I'm standing here and I'm super present and I'm talking to you guys and I'm explaining all these things. And I can guarantee you that as soon as I get back to editing my videos and going over things again and listen to specific sounds or think about memories, it's going to crash down again. And I think that there really should be this acceptance within ourselves to give ourselves this time and the permission in order to go through whatever stages you are going through. Yes, there's going to be depression and anger and bargaining and acceptance and all of it, and it might come in completely different ways than you would have expected. Maybe today you think you're okay and tomorrow you're definitely not okay. Or maybe today you're not okay and tomorrow is going to be amazing. It's so unpredictable. I've really noticed that you have no idea what the next day is going to bring. And on that note, I think it's so incredibly important that we do live in the moment. It's such a cliche phrase, but since my mom passed away, I noticed how valuable time is. Because she passed away out of nowhere, I know that the day before she died, she wouldn't have known. And it's the same for all of us, isn't it? We don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea. So as much as you're grieving and processing and doing all those things, try and always be with it. Whatever you're doing, be in the moment and appreciate the moment for what it is. And if it is a sad moment, then that is totally fine. And whether you have lost somebody or you know somebody that had lost somebody, I think this acceptance of them may not being okay for a very long time, or having days that are just not as good as the other ones, is so incredibly important. The other day, for example, a friend told me about this person that we used to know, and her husband had passed away about 4 or 5 years ago, and I saw her posting about him so many videos and photos, and there was this voice for a second in my head that went, well, it's been almost 5 years, I think she should be really moving on. And right away I caught myself and thought to myself, who are you to judge her on this process? Because like I just said, it's completely different for every single one of us. So don't ever look at somebody and go, well, you really got to be over it at this point. And with the complexity of this healing process, you really cannot expect yourself to be and act in certain ways because it's just too big. So now I found myself that, yes, I would say there's more good days than bad days at this stage, but that may be completely different for somebody else who has gone through a similar experience than I have. So if you ever found yourself being angry at yourself for the bad days, or disappointed in yourself that you're not doing as much or as well as you would have expected, don't be. And I'm gonna say it again, the way that you are grieving does not have to follow that original model that is so widely populated of denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. It has to be whatever you need it to be in that moment of time. No matter how you choose to grieve, that is exactly the way that you're supposed to do it. And I promise you that if you are trying to work on this on one way or another, even if you just do one thing for 5 minutes a day, that somehow is going to make you feel a little bit better. And last week we talked about all the things that you can use on this grieving journey and that have helped me to feel a lot better. Then I promise you that gradually over time, even though there's going to be dip downs again, but slowly and steady, you are going to feel better overall.